Chapter 942. Hunting begins. The joint forces kept a sufficient distance from them to prevent friction and collision. They came to another direction of Qingdao and sent out elite alien troops. For this mission, the Columbia Ocean Fleet is also determined to win. However, they also know that they are far away from their homeland. If several major regions of Huaxu join forces, they will fall into a disadvantage. So in order to make up for this disadvantage, Navy Commander Douglas chose to win over several surrounding allies to participate in this operation. As a loyal younger brother of Columbia, Neon, the two major organizations of Kanto and Kansai have sent top aliens to support. In order to please Columbia, Sila on the peninsula also sent a large number of alien teams. In addition, the Marley Kingdom in the southern waters learned the intelligence early due to its geographical advantages and also participated in it. In addition to these forces, the most core combat power is still the alien special forces of the Columbia Ocean Fleet, the Lock of Hell. Unlike Huaxu, the Columbia Navy did not disperse the top aliens. Instead, they gathered them all together to form an alien superpowered force with absolute strength. Every alien who can enter this force has an existence with extremely terrifying strength. This team has only 7 people, but each of them has the strength of a captain or even above. And their captain is naturally the first general of the Navy, John Cadels, codenamed Lord of the Ocean. However, even Cadels, who has extraordinary strength, cannot absolutely suppress the brilliance of others in the Hell Chain. They are all powerful beings with a great reputation in the Navy. The person in charge of commanding this operation is Graham Horn, Chief of Staff of the Ocean Fleet Command. Before the joint force set out, he solemnly reminded everyone to remember their respective tasks. The most important goal is to find the existence of sacred essence. That is our biggest goal. But if we can hunt down the strong men of Huaxu country, it would be even better. John Cadels, the captain of the Hell Chain, lay on the chair with an indifferent smile on his face. Mr. Horn, don't worry. With me here, they can't take even a hair off the sacred essence. Horn had long been accustomed to the tone of Cadels' speech. He smiled and looked at Cadels. But there may be no hair on that thing. Then put my in it. Ha ha ha. Cadels laughed wantonly, but no one dared to criticize his vulgar joke. On one side of the huge square table, a man wearing a cowboy felt hat pressed down the brim of his hat, looking lazy. But the 2 pistols with broom patterns on his waist were particularly eye-catching. It's already the middle of the 21st century, and there's still people using revolvers. It's really outrageous. What's even more outrageous is that the man next to him with a big beard actually has a huge compound bow behind him. The representatives of Neon, Sila, and Marley sat upright and listened to Horn's speech honestly. In terms of strength, they are all sons of the Colombian Navy. This time they came here to assist in the war. Horn looked at them, his ice-blue eyes showing a smile and warning. As for all the foreign friends, first of all, thank you very much for coming. After this battle, no matter the result, your organization will receive military assistance and friendship from our Columbia Navy. For those who make significant contributions, such as discovering the source of God or killing enough Huaxu aliens, we will reward them with a lot of resources. Horn opened his arms. However, there is one thing I hope you don't forget. That is, once you discover the source of God, you must report to me as soon as possible. The water of the source of God is too deep. You can't grasp it. It's the best choice to leave it to our powerful Columbia Navy. The aliens from the other 3 countries didn't dare to have any opinions and nodded in agreement. With Cartier's here, let me say something unpleasant. If anyone really dares to take the source of God, even if he gets it, he won't survive in the end. No one who can come here is a fool, and they won't do such stupid things. But if there is a particularly appropriate opportunity, that's another story. Well, let's go. Horn gave an order, and these aliens left the huge cruiser without delay and landed on Qingdao from the opposite direction of the aliens from Huaxu country. After these aliens left, Cartier sat on the chairboard and scratched his ears. Hey, is it necessary to be so troublesome? As long as I go there alone, I can kill them all. Then the sacred source will be ours. Horn smiled and looked at the island country in the distance. Cartiers, don't underestimate the opponent. Although Xuanwu can't fight on the island, your ability will be weakened once you set foot on land. You are the first combat force of our ocean fleet. You shouldn't put yourself in danger. What you should do is to use your ability to summon the deep-sea beast Tide when we have a naval battle, which is powerful enough. Cartiers curled his lips. That's really boring. He crossed his legs on the desk, but the corner of his mouth, with a mischievous smile. If you don't let me go, then I won't go? Let's wait until those guys are found first, and then I will appear like a hero and kill all those guys from Huashu country. Zhang Yi stepped onto the coast of Qingdao. Not far away is a huge poisonous miasma that is dozens of meters high and covers 6 cities. This gas comes from underground and is terribly toxic. If you enter without taking any safety measures, normal humans will die in half a minute. So, naturally, since the outbreak of the apocalypse in Qingdao, except for a few people who escaped, all the people in these 6 cities have died. Zhang Yi put gas masks on Huahua and Lele. Let's go. Our hunt begins. Huahua's eyes also became excited. Can we finally take action? I'm sick of hearing those people nagging all the time. Lele's voice came out in a muffled voice. Those guys, I feel like they all have bad intentions. I don't like them. Zhang Yi reached out and stroked their heads, smiling. You are right. There is no need to pay attention to them. We just need to believe in ourselves. Sometimes he likes animals more than people. Lele, search for prey. Zhang Yi narrowed his eyes and looked at the thick fog that was almost impossible to dissolve. Okay, boss. Lele called Zhang Yi boss because Zhang Yi was not his master, but Zhang Yi was his master's boss. It moved its huge claws, crawled on the ground with its upper body, and a faint light appeared in its eyes. Then, within a radius of several kilometers, the breath of all creatures poured into its nasal cavity without any difference. A dog's nose is always more sensitive than a human's, especially a mutant demon dog, which is even more powerful in searching for prey. On the other hand, it has an excellent sense of direction. This allows Zhang Yi to clearly identify the direction even without the help of scouts, so as not to get lost in the deep fog. This is also the reason why Zhang Yi brought a Gamma-level hound to Qingdao. Chapter 943, What I Want Others Can't Think Of. Have you confirmed the direction? Are we going to head in the direction where they are? Zhang Yi asked with a smile, stroking Lele's thick fur with one hand. Woof. It should be in this direction. Its big nose arched to the left front. Okay, then let's go. Zhang Yi waved his hand and opened the dimensional door. Then he, Huahua, and Lele disappeared directly on the spot and entered the poisonous fog. The next moment, they appeared in a place in front. After Lele confirmed the direction again, he pointed to Zhang Yi, and then Zhang Yi went in that direction. Lele's nose is very sensitive, and Zhang Yi's space shuttle can no longer be described as fast, but a displacement ability like a cheat. This allowed him to fully seize the initiative on the island. In the duel between aliens, it is particularly important to seize the initiative. At this time, Zhang Yi will enter this huge fog one step earlier than others and have a hearty hunt. But at this time, in the command room inside Xuanwu, the faces of Li Tianyang and others changed drastically. Through the positioning and communication chips on each person, they were able to confirm their positions in the 3D map model and communicate in real time. Originally, in their plan, all aliens who entered the poisonous miasma area would lose their direction, making it impossible to go deeper quickly. However, a strange and abnormal light spot appeared on the 3D map. In just a few minutes, it had already traveled from the southeast of Jinfeng City to the northwest of Jinfeng City. Who is this? Is he crazy? Li Tianyang's eyes shook violently. The others also looked at each other. It seems it's Chaos from the Jiangnan district. Chaos. After Li Tianyang confirmed the man, his brows frowned even deeper. But he was more puzzled. We can clearly see from the map that the location of the Fog Valley is in the center of the 6 cities. The poisonous miasma should also be emitted from there. But the direction that Chaos is heading is not only not close to that area. Instead, it is farther away and closer to the location of the joint forces. That's right, at this time it can be clearly seen on the map that although Zhang Yi is very fast, he is getting farther and farther away from the location of the Fog Valley. He even arrived at the area near the landing of the joint forces early. What is he doing? Li Tianyang looked up at Situ Xian, but Situ Xian was also puzzled. No one could understand Zhang Yi's intention. However, no matter how you look at it, Zhang Yi's running to that position is a good thing for others. Because he is not only far away from the area where the source of God is located, but also the first to encounter the joint forces of Columbia. Li Tianyang showed a sneer at the corner of his mouth, thinking, it seems that he is a guy who likes to play personal heroism. Very good, you go, and stop them well. I will remember your contribution. Zhang Yi brought Huahua and Lele to the northwest area of Jinfeng City. This place used to be very prosperous. Even though it is now mostly buried by ice and snow and corroded by poisonous miasma, you can still see tall buildings standing like a steel forest. Zhang Yi searched around and saw the tallest building, which was an ideal sniper point. However, he hesitated for a moment and gave up this place. Instead, after changing targets several times, he found a slightly taller but less obvious building. He understood the commanding heights, and other aliens must also understand that it was too obvious and easy to attract attention. Zhang Yi brought Huahua and Lele to the building and hid in an office. The glass of this office was basically intact, without too many cracks, and there were many tables, chairs, benches, and documents inside. Zhang Yi leaned behind the window and set up his sniper rifle. Huahua lay on the dog's head, and Lele lay obediently in front of Zhang Yi so that Huahua could be on the same level with Zhang Yi's head. Master, why do we have to ambush here? If we keep waiting like this, we don't know when the enemy will take the bait. Isn't it a bit too troublesome? Zhang Yi said to it calmly. All the people who came this time are elite, and there are countless captains. None of them is stupid. Do you want me to take you and take the initiative to attack and jump out to hunt others with great fanfare? He touched the sniper rifle in his hand and smiled and narrowed his eyes. No one thought that I would appear here. No one thought that when others were wholeheartedly seizing the source of God, I would come here to hunt aliens. In this way, as long as someone appears in this area, he will be dead. Bang! End the battle with one shot. This is much simpler than the hard chase and fighting, and the risk is very low. Huahua lazily lay on Lele's head. You are the boss. You have the final say. Although it looks lazy, there is a fierce light flashing in its eyes from time to time. It and Lele are both using the hunting instinct of wild beasts to search for all creatures nearby. That's right. From the beginning, Zhang Yi's plan for this trip to Qingdao was different from that of others. The source of God? What is that? The two superpowers and many medium-sized countries with strong strength participated in it. There are even 2 Epsilon-level aliens. The major forces have mobilized almost all the top aliens that can be dispatched. In such an environment, they have to compete for that source of God and become the target of public criticism. No matter how you think about it, the cost-effectiveness is too low. But there is a resource that is no less important than the source of God, or even more important than the source of God, but others passively ignore it. That is the origin of the captain-level alien. The source of God is equivalent to a key that can help people break through genetic limitations. But for Zhang Yi, this effect is not great. What he needs is just the origin of enough powerful aliens or alien beasts. And how easy is it to meet a captain-level prey? At the normal speed of improving strength, I don't know when it will be. But this time, the Star Island battle gave him an extremely huge opportunity. Let him hunt aliens to his heart's content and obtain their origins. There are as many as 2-digit captain-level aliens here, and even more vice-captains. Adding them together, it is definitely not comparable to the source of God. Rather than taking great risks to snatch the source of God under the noses of Epsilon-level aliens, it is better to slaughter herds of cattle and sheep in this fog. This is why he chose not to bring anyone with him and only brought Huahua and Lele to Qingdao. They can help Zhang Yi search for prey very well. And the alien partners will only become a trouble for Zhang Yi to hunt high-level prey. I can become Epsilon without the source of God. Zhang Yi's mouth curled up with a cold smile. As long as enough aliens are hunted. Chapter 944. Mind. No one could imagine Zhang Yi's crazy plan. No one, like him, had enough strength and courage to do this. Because hunting captains is meaningless for ordinary Delta-level aliens. They cannot break through by absorbing the captain's essence. In a sense, Zhang Yi is a wild Epsilon. If he chooses to join the district's top leaders like Xuanwu and other captains and works hard for them, then he will also be cultivated by the entire district with all his strength. Not to mention becoming an Epsilon, it may not be impossible for his ability index to surpass Cartier's and Xuanwu. But he didn't do that because he is Zhang Yi, and he doesn't want anyone to restrain him. So the power he wants can only be obtained in his own way. Zhang Yi's plan is very simple. The area covered by the Fog Valley is about 20,000 square kilometers, which is roughly the area of 3 Tianhai cities. Without satellite navigation and the inability to use a compass, aliens will become blind. Except for a very small number of people with special abilities, they must rely on scouts to conduct reconnaissance, or spend a lot of time to explore the location of the Fog Valley. And from the Fog Valley, determine the correct underground entrance of the source of God. This period of time will take at least more than a week. And this period of time is enough for Zhang Yi to hunt. He has Hua and Lele, which is equivalent to having 2 more pairs of eyes that are far stronger than humans. 10 minutes later, Lele suddenly pricked up his ears. It said to Zhang Yi, "Boss, someone is coming. In that direction. There should be 13 people." Zhang Yi nodded and looked outside through the one-way glass of the window. The thick poisonous miasma enveloped everything around, and the visible range did not exceed 10 meters. He slowly closed his eyes, and then suddenly opened them. A flash of white light flashed in his eyes. The next moment, an invisible wave began to spread in all directions with him as the center. With him as the center, all spatial fluctuations within a radius of 3,000 meters were accurately presented in his mind. Mind field. Zhang Yi's newly realized ability. As a top space ability user, he has always been very sensitive to the fluctuations of space. After returning from the sea, his strength has also been greatly improved, and his perception of space fluctuations has increased dramatically. This also allows him to master a more powerful reconnaissance skill. Although it is an ability that has just been realized, in Jinfeng City, where poisonous miasma is everywhere, the movement of any object will cause fluctuations in the airflow of poisonous miasma, which will help Zhang Yi capture their position. Soon, Zhang Yi saw their position. He didn't even need to use his eyes to know where they were. Zhang Yi put his hand on the trigger of Lei Li and began to aim. Mind field search for the enemy and confirm the position. Precision shooting luck. At this time, the joint forces that landed on the other side of Qingdao also divided into multiple teams to take action. Here in Jinfeng City, the first to arrive was the alien team of Sila. As a small country on the peninsula, Sila was originally weak after the end of the world and was not worth mentioning. However, due to the presence of Columbia garrisons on the island, they were able to preserve their national system. Therefore, in this operation, at Douglas's command, they excitedly sent the top group of aliens in the country to the battlefield to show their loyalty. In Jinfeng City, the master of Warangdo in Sila, Cui Yonghao, appeared in this direction with an ability index of 7,600 points, and the Taekwondo master known as the Spider God of War with an ability index of up to 8,000 points. They led their disciples and scouts and walked slowly in the poisonous miasma. Director Che, the direction we chose is very safe and the farthest from the direction of the Fog Valley. I believe that the aliens from Huaxi will not pass by here. Cui Yonghao said to Che Zaishi next to him with a smile. Che Zaishi heard this and snorted disdainfully. What is there to be afraid of? If I meet them, I must let them taste the power of my Taekwondo Heaven Destruction Flow. Cui Yonghao smiled and nodded when he heard this. That's right. My Warangdo leg skills are not a joke with them. The two masters were followed by their disciples and scouts sent by Sila. Since their overall strength was relatively weak, Colombia did not place them in important battlefield areas. But the Sila people were too enthusiastic and cried out to come to help. So they were asked to land in Jinfeng City first as a vanguard to find out the situation on the island. Several scouts walked cautiously in front. Since they could not use a compass here, they had to rely on primitive and professional means to determine the direction and the location of the fog valley. For example, through the ground veins, or refer to the local landmark buildings. A scout checked the map on the helmet display, looked left and right, and soon found the more iconic high-rise building in Jinfeng City. He pointed his finger over there and was about to say something. But suddenly, a sharp sound of breaking through the air was heard. Puff! Blood splattered all over the sky. The scout's 2 legs were still standing on the ground, and his entire upper body was shattered into powder. The 2 masters, who were still praising each other, and their disciples changed color instantly. I didn't expect there would be enemies here. Be alert. Be alert immediately. Che Zaishi shouted in a low voice. Don't panic. Find the enemy in the dark. As soon as the voice fell, his body changed dramatically. The body began to swell, the skin turned into a strange black, and a lot of hard and glowing hair appeared. Crack. The Taoist uniform on his body was directly broken, revealing his terrifying appearance. It was a huge black spider more than 3 meters tall and more than 5 meters long, with 8 thick arms. The densely packed compound eyes on the head actually have 360 degrees, which can see everything around without blind spots. Jang silently changed the bullet. In his mind, he could feel all the moving human figures. However, he could not judge the opponent's strength, let alone see his appearance. But all this was not important. Anyway, they all had to die, so it didn't matter who died first or last. Bang! Another shot was fired, penetrating a distance of 3 kilometers and killing another person. This time, the one who died was Che Zaishi's disciple. After the transformation, Lei Li could perfectly integrate with Zhang Yi's ability. He could use the power of space to remove the strong recoil of the sniper rifle and swallow the explosion after the shot. Therefore, the opponent could not judge his position by the sound of the gunshot and could only hear the sharp hissing of the bullet breaking through the air. Chapter 945, Sila Team. 2 people have been killed. The cause of death is unknown, but they were all blasted into slag. The power of the thunderbolt was too strong, but Zhang Yi also judged from the effect of the sniper that the one killed was not a powerful alien. Because the strong who can come here will not be so easily broken into pieces. However, his sniper still left a mark. The powerful impact directly drew a narrow and long mark in the poisonous miasma. The eyes on the spider demon, head of Che Zaishi's incarnation, caught the trajectory at once. So there. He suddenly soared into the air and hung on the wall of a tall building, and then the tail sprayed white spider silk, which hung on the wall and rippled in the direction of Zhang Yi. Cui Yonghao's feet were very fast. When he realized that the other party was a powerful sniper, his body had already turned into a residual image and disappeared on the spot, and found a building as a shelter. Disperse immediately, surround in that direction, and find the sniper for me. Cui Yonghao and Che Zaishi gave orders to all the aliens around them. His body was very huge, but with the rope-like spider silk, he was able to swing very flexibly between the tall buildings. With the cover of the building, he quickly approached the building where Zhang Yi was hiding. And Zhang Yi did only one thing, that is, to change the bullets calmly. Silver bullets, holy silver bullets. The closer the distance, the stronger the insight of the mind. Zhang Yi closed his eyes, and he saw the huge spider approaching. Bang! With this shot, a huge cylindrical passage immediately appeared in the space in front of him, and all the poisonous miasma around was stirred away. The body of the spider demon was swaying in the air, and the next moment he felt a terrible death crisis enveloping him. Puff! He realized the existence of danger, but did not avoid the terrifying blow. A large hole that was transparent from front to back appeared on the spider shell that was as black as steel, and purple liquid flowed out. The body of the spider demon was thrown away by inertia. He looked at his body in astonishment. He could not accept that his strong body was shot through by a gun. But the heart-wrenching pain reminded him that this was not an illusion, but a real injury. Ah! Che Zaishi wailed in pain. His huge body swayed in the air and crashed into a building. The shrill screams made the others change their faces. The battle had just begun, and one of their two leaders was seriously injured. Che Zaishi's body was very huge, and this blow did not kill him completely. He struggled and fell to the ground, his eyes full of fear. That guy is not something we can deal with. He is too powerful. I must escape, otherwise I will definitely die. Che Zaishi figured out everything in an instant and dragged his seriously injured body without hesitation to escape. But the next moment, a fishy wind blew from the side. Cha Jae-hee saw a giant beast covered with black steel-like hair and with terrifying eyes coming to him. Ah! Hua rushed over and bit off his head in one bite, then began to chew with relish. There were many Sila aliens nearby, and their legs were numb when they saw this scene. Cha Jae-hee, one of the two masters and a top alien in Sila who was famous in one area, was killed so easily and became a meal for the beast. Get out of my way! Choi Yong-ho, the master of Warangdo, roared and rushed over. He twisted his body, obviously wanting to fight, but his body shook like dancing. Along with the dance movements, his legs kicked high, and a fierce whirlwind of energy came out from his legs, cutting through the poisonous miasma and attacking Hua. Hua picked up Choi Yong-ho's body and disappeared directly into the poisonous miasma. Choi Yong-ho's attack was dodged by it very lightly. Cats are top hunters, especially good at ambushes and pouncing. When it hides in the thick fog, humans have to worry about their necks at any time. Master, they are very weak. Jang received the signal transmitted by Hua. After hearing the other party's gibberish in Sila, he figured out who the other party was. So you are Sila people, no wonder you are so weak. Forget it. Just take you as an appetizer. The other party didn't even show up a captain-level figure, and it was really just for entertainment. Zhang Yi didn't have any plans to go out and fight. Because this is the vanguard, if he fights with these people for a long time, what should he do if a high-level alien from Colombia appears later? So, he just silently replaced the holy silver bullet for Lei Li, and then locked the target and shot. This is a very boring hunt. A sniper with an ability index of 9,800 points, hunting a group of aliens with an ability index below 8,000 points. Zhang Yi shot one by one, and no one could escape his sniper. Once you are locked by him, you will die. Puff, puff, puff. The aliens of Sila fell one after another. They originally planned to use the method of encirclement to catch Zhang Yi hiding in a high-rise building. But before they even had time to take 10 steps, 3 people were already blown into slag. Choi Yong-ho's face changed drastically. He already knew that the other party was not on the same level as himself and others. Why can we meet such a strong existence in Jinfeng City? Aren't they all going to the fog valleys? Although he said this, he still jumped into the air, and his 2 strong thighs quickly turned in the air, and then turned into a fierce gust of wind. This attack was not aimed at the building in the direction of Zhang Yi, but at the surrounding poisonous miasma. The turbulent airflow rushed out in all directions, and for a moment it was like a level 9 storm. With his stirring, the poisonous miasma in all the surrounding spaces began to surge violently. A playful smile appeared at the corner of Zhang Yi's mouth. Very smart, you actually discovered the truth about my insight into the target. The essence of insight in the mind realm is to discover the fluctuations of the poisonous miasma in the space, so as to confirm the existence of the enemy within a 3-kilometer range. But Choi Yong-ho used the strong wind to directly disturb the poisonous miasma to affect his judgment. As expected of Sila's top alien, his battle ideas are very clear. But Choi Yong-ho didn't know that Zhang Yi has more than one pair of eyes. After determining their position, Hua and Lei have entered the thick fog. A cat and a dog, one on the left and one on the right, determined the other's position and then conveyed it to Zhang Yi through the communicator. Zhang Yi calmly changed the bullet and then pulled the trigger again. Chapter 946, Run Through. Cui Yonghao was planning to escape in the chaos, and he didn't even care about his own disciples. Facing such a terrible opponent, it was already difficult for him to survive, so how could he care about anything else? But soon, his scalp became numb and his back felt cold. At this moment, he felt as if someone had pointed a sharp sword at his eyeballs 1 millimeter away. Run! Cui Yonghao decisively tried his best and ran towards a building not far away. His leg skills were very powerful, so his ability to escape was also first class. Zhang Yi's bullet aimed at him, but it passed by him and grazed his scalp. Cui Yonghao dodged to the back of the building and felt a warm feeling on his head. Reaching out and touching it, he was horrified to find that just now, the bullet had just passed by his head, but a narrow scar appeared on his head. Oh, you have some strength. Zhang Yi raised his eyebrows, but he was not surprised. The other party looked like an enhancement-type ability user, so it was not surprising that he had a keen intuition and amazing speed. Don't worry, let's take it slow. What's there for Zhang Yi to worry about? He is just a hunter, and there are many preys in front of him for him to choose one by one. Cui Yonghao's breathing has become rapid. He hid behind the building and began to calculate the escape route in his mind. There are 3 buildings between me and the sniper. As long as I don't run out, he can't hit me. But his bullet speed is too fast. I can't run away every time. Then, how about counterattack? The moment this thought came up, Cui Yonghao immediately shook his head frantically. No, no, no. That's the same as seeking death. At this moment, Cui Yonghao heard a shout. Master, are you okay? Several of his disciples ran over. Because of fear, their faces, which had turned white due to plastic surgery, became even whiter at this time. Several disciples of Che Zaishi also gathered around, and they placed all their hopes on Master Cui Yonghao. Cui Yonghao looked at them and suddenly thought of a good idea in his mind. He said to these aliens, I have seen through his strength. He is just an alien with long-range attacks. As long as we get close, he will become a lamb for us to slaughter. But now I need to determine his position. He twisted his right foot on the ground, and half of his foot was inserted into the snow. It's not that easy to kill me. Iron legs floating on the waters? Help me create opportunities so that I can confirm his position. Then I have a unique skill that can get close to him in an instant, and then kill him. Seeing Cui Yonghao's confident look, these aliens felt much more at ease. One disciple asked, But Master, what do you need us to do? Yes, if there is anything you want us to do, just tell us. Cui Yonghao said in a deep voice, It's very simple. You spread out and move towards his position from all directions. Attract him to shoot. As soon as he shoots, I will confirm his position in an instant and then kill him. Hearing Cui Yonghao say this, all the disciples looked at each other. Their expressions were a little hesitant. They have seen the opponent's strength and killed Taekwondo master Cha Jae-hee in one shot. If they went over, wouldn't it be the same as sending themselves to die? Seeing everyone hesitating, Cui Yonghao's face darkened and he scolded. Without even this little courage, how can you be called the elite of the Republic of Great Sila? Have you forgotten the mission of your trip? It is to show the courage and strength of the Republic of Great Sila in front of all countries, so that they dare not despise us. If you dare not act, you will be killed one by the other side. Under Cui Yonghao's coercion and inducement, the disciples had no choice but to cooperate. At least they tried, and the probability of death would not be too high at least. In the end, the disciples could only agree to lure the alien to shoot for Cui Yonghao. After everyone discussed it, they rushed out from the back of the building in an instant. 7 or 8 people approached the building where Zhang Yi was from 7 or 8 different directions. Zhang Yi raised the corner of his mouth. He simply didn't use a sniper rifle, but took out 2 white owls. Facing an alien of this level, a pistol is enough. The silver bullets cut through the thick poisonous miasma and unexpectedly produced a ray of holy light in this gloomy space. Zhang Yi's speed was very fast. With a 30-fold acceleration, the speed of his shooting almost became a series of afterimages. Puff, 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 puff. The disciples who attacked him were shot dead one by one. The holy silver bullets penetrated their chests. The huge impact force caused them to crash back hard and fall on the snow. Hua, who had been waiting in the dark for a long time, rushed over quickly and cleared them out. And what about Cui Yonghao? He saw the death of his disciples, and his inner fear became more serious. But the threat of death made his body move quickly instinctively. At the moment Zhang Yi fired, his legs turned into a gust of wind. He ran quickly into the distance along the buildings. He had planned a route long ago. There were all kinds of buildings in the middle, and the sniper couldn't aim at him at all. Even if he aimed, he couldn't snipe. This Sila Warangdo master had no dignity of a strong man at this time, and only thought about how to escape. Run? What are you thinking? Zhang Yi sighed, and held the thunderbolt again. Bang! Cui Yonghao ran madly into the distance. He wanted to go back to the small country where he was born and raised. Although there were not many people there, Cui Yonghao was a godlike existence in the local area. He had been flattered by others, making him think that he was invincible in the world. So when the Columbia Navy came to recruit him, he volunteered to come. He wanted to dance to his heart's content on the stage of this great country and make his name as the master of Warangdo famous all over the world. But he didn't expect that he would face the crisis of death less than an hour after he set foot on this battlefield. Suddenly, Cui Yonghao stopped. He lowered his head in astonishment and looked at his chest. There, the bright red blood flowed out and soon turned into a creepy black due to the cold temperature. There, a hole the size of a bowl was opened, transparent from front to back, and even light could be seen. I was actually shot. Cui Yonghao's mind was already blank. Why? He didn't understand. He had clearly planned the escape route, so he shouldn't have been hit. But why didn't he escape? Cui Yonghao slowly turned around and wanted to take a look at the enemy. Behind him, there was an extremely strange scene. The thick, poisonous miasma was cut open, revealing the path of the bullet, which was a long and narrow passage. Behind him, a building had a bullet hole that was transparent from front to back. If he could look more carefully, he would find that there were bullet holes with the same path between the dozen buildings between him and Zhang Yi. This blow, even though he thought he was very safe hiding behind the building. But he never expected that Zhang Yi could penetrate his body through more than a dozen buildings. This is the strength of a top-level alien sniper. Cui Yonghao slowly knelt on the ground and soon lost his breath of life. In the thick fog, a black giant beast walked out, then bit Cui Yonghao's body and began to eat in big mouthfuls. Chapter 947. Little Elf. Hua and Lele gathered the bodies of those aliens together. Zhang Yi contacted the command center on Xuanwu and uploaded their images. Li Tianyong, Situ Xian, and others were in the command center, quietly waiting for the battle to begin. However, at the beginning, the forces were very cautious and usually did not conflict with each other. So they did not expect that the news would be sent back so soon. Zhang Yi's message with images was directly presented in the center of the circular platform of the command center through 3D images. Zhang Yi asked lightly, "Can these people confirm their identities?" He did not know how much shock this behavior brought to everyone. Situ Xian's eyes lit up and his mouth was about to smile crookedly. The attitude that the East China Sea region has always shown is that they do not care about the strength of the Jiangnan region. Unexpectedly, Zhang Yi showed his skills so quickly and fought back their face. Even Xuanwu could not help but come over and blinked with curiosity. Oh, it turned out to be chaos. This guy's strength is very good. Li Tianyong frowned with some dissatisfaction. Soon someone confirmed the identities of these people. The officer in charge of battlefield statistics and reporting said, "Chaos, these people are from Sila. The confirmed identities include Cui Yonghao, the master of Warangdo. In Sila, with a supernatural index of 7,600 points, and Che Jaehi, the Taekwondo master, codenamed Spider Devil, with a supernatural index of 8,000 points. The strength of the other aliens is below 6,000 points. We have completed the statistics of your battle record. You can redeem your rewards after you come back." Zhang nodded. Okay, I understand. After that, he ended the communication with the command center. Li Tianyang saw the smile on Situ Xian's mouth, snorted coldly, and deliberately raised his voice and said, "They are just low-level aliens from Sila. It's no big deal for the top master of Jiangnan district to kill so many of them." Situ Xian nodded with a smile. "You are right, I think so too. To be honest, I am also looking forward to seeing the performance of several people in the East China Sea district." The muscles on Li Tianyang's face moved and finally turned into a cold snort. "It's easy to say nice words. Do you really treat the two aliens as trash? Even if their combat power is only 7,600 and 8,000 points, they are already masters in the alien field and vice-captain level in the region. Zhang Yi cleanly solved them within half an hour at the beginning of the battle. What else can this be if not strength?" The Columbia Navy Command Center also received the news that a team of Sila was completely wiped out at the beginning of the war. But no one took it seriously, because the strength of this team is not strong overall. Their core focus is still on other areas, especially the members of the Hell Chain. Zhang Yi searched for supplies from these people. As for Cui Yonghao and Che Zaishi, they were directly fed to Huahua. Lele looked at the side with envy. "Hey, if I could also devour evolution." It looked sad and sighed. Zhang Yi patted its big head. "This is your fate. Accept the reality. After this mission is over, I will prepare a super large portion of dog food for you." Woof. Huahua cleaned up the bodies of these aliens, and Zhang Yi put the wreckage into the alien space to avoid leaving it outside and attracting the attention of others. After cleaning up the scene, he took Huahua and Lele and moved immediately. They should be acting separately. Since someone is here, there won't be a second team in a short time. Let's go. Our hunting operation has just begun. Zhang Yi and Huahua jumped on Lele. The demon dog sniffed, keenly observing everything around it, and then after it confirmed a direction, it began to run quickly towards it. In the city of Bateau on Qingdao, a group of Colombian scouts were fully armed and moved forward cautiously. They moved at a leisurely pace, trying to observe everything around them. And from time to time, they had to combine the map before the end of the world to confirm the surrounding buildings and determine their own position. Their mission was to lead the alien troops. After confirming the correct direction, they left markers. More than a dozen Colombian soldiers cooperated with each other tacitly, not missing any prominent landmark buildings around. When a soldier passed an abandoned building, his equipment suddenly captured a crisp laugh. The scout immediately became cautious. He confirmed the source of the laughter again, and it was clear that he did not hear it wrong. The source of the sound was obvious. It was in the building next to it, so there would be no auditory hallucination because the capture device on his body gave him a clear hint. The scout raised his assault rifle and slowly walked into the ruins. When he stepped into the ruins, the scene in front of him made him open his eyes wide. He saw the little elf was jumping happily there. That's right, it was a little elf. Because he didn't need any hesitation to make a judgment. It was definitely not any animal that had ever existed in the world. The little yellow elf was not even as tall as a calf, with a long body with limbs and a long head, like a banana with hands and feet. But it looked so cute, jumping between the broken walls of the ruins, humming an incomprehensible but refreshing song. The scout was stunned for a moment, but soon he told the captain of the reconnaissance team the news. Soon, the group of scouts came to the ruins. When they saw the elf, they were all stunned, because the scene in front of them was something they had never seen before. But so many people suddenly appeared, it seemed that someone had exposed their existence, causing the little elf to become alert. It jumped and soon ran towards the depths of the ruins. Quick, follow it. The scouts vaguely felt that this little elf was related to the target they were looking for. They chased after the elf without hesitation. They chased the creature deep into the ruins, and the sweet and clear magical sound became louder and louder. Soon, they came to a collapsed pit, which was the basement of a building. The scouts were stunned by everything in front of them. A bright yellow color warmly illuminated the large space in the basement. There were hundreds of those cheerful little yellow elves. They chirped and jumped happily, and seemed to be unconcerned about the uninvited guests. "Oh, my God." The captain of the reconnaissance team couldn't help but say, "Is this heaven?" Chapter 948, Mysterious and Terrifying. Those cute little elves, those jumping little elves, lively and cute, emitting warm yellow light all over their bodies. This is a magical creature that only exists in fairy tales and legends. The reconnaissance team transmitted the images in front of them to the Columbia Naval Command Center in real time. Major General Graham Horne's eyes widened with excitement. There are such magical creatures. John Cartier's joked on the side, "Don't be too happy too soon. Maybe it's a mouse mutation." As soon as he finished speaking, an unusual picture appeared in the image. Those cute little elves have completely attracted the attention of the reconnaissance team. None of them noticed that a huge thing came out from the shadows. 2 big feet came out of the darkness and stepped on the ground. A scout looked up and saw the thing in front of him. He couldn't help but open his mouth and muttered, "So cute." It was a giant beast that was 3 meters tall, furry, and emitting a water blue glow all over its body. It looked like a huge plush toy, with big eyes, a chubby body, and 2 antlers on its head. I believe that no woman in this world can resist its temptation. But this lovely, mysterious creature just smiled brightly at them. Then it suddenly opened its mouth, and with an unimaginable huge mouth, puff, it directly bit off half of a scout's body. Everyone was stunned. The scouts were just immersed in this beauty. They didn't expect such a cute creature to suddenly kill people. "Shoot, shoot." The captain was the first to react, raised his rifle and started shooting. But the bullets had no effect on the magical creature. It opened its mouth, and it was not as cute as its appearance. It was full of sharp teeth. A long scarlet tongue popped out of its mouth, attached with disgusting mucus. Puff. Its tongue swept across the sky, and the bodies of all the scouts in front of it were cut in half from the middle, and then puff, puff. They fell to the ground in pieces. The yellow elves on the ground pounced on them happily, opened their mouths, revealed their sharp teeth, and began to bite them crunch and scrunch. At the command center of the Navy, everyone looked solemn when they saw this scene. Are there still such terrible creatures in the depths of the poisonous miasma? Its speed is so fast that I didn't even catch the sound of its attack. An alien officer took a deep breath. Its strength is definitely at the Delta level, and it is a high-level Delta. If there are many such creatures on this island, then our biggest threat in this operation may not only be the alien troops of Huashi country. Jang destroyed the Sila team without much effort. Soon, he decided to move his position and look for new prey. There were aliens in the 6 cities of Qingdao, and he was not in a hurry, taking it step by step. Because among the aliens who came on this trip, there were also those with particularly outstanding strength. He needed to treat those prey seriously. At the same time, he had to ensure his absolute safety. In such an environment, he had 2 beast friends, Hua and Lele, who provided him with great help. The news of the destruction of the Sila team reached the ears of every alien in the joint force. They knew that there were strange people from Huashi country in the northeast of Jinfeng City. However, Zhang Yi had already gone to other places at this time, and the enemy had no idea where he was. Moreover, after the first success, Zhang Yi became familiar with it and began to move closer to the landing direction of the joint forces. Instead of approaching the center, he slowly closed the encirclement from the edge. He would not be so reckless as to rush into the enemy camp and fight against the many powerful combat forces of the Helllock. But he knew that the other party would slowly take a dispersed approach like them. Sooner or later, someone would be left alone. Zhang Yi established a sniper point in another direction of Jinfeng City. If you land from Jinfeng City and go to the central area of Wilderness Island, you must move southwest. So he stayed on this necessary road. After waiting for several hours, Lele gave him another reminder. "Boss, someone appeared in the north." Zhang Yi heard this and put his hand on the sniper rifle. Number of people, distance. Lele closed his eyes carefully to check, and his black nostrils expanded and contracted. The number of people is about 10 to 20. The distance is more than 5 kilometers. Very good, I understand. Zhang Yi opened his mind field and quietly waited for the arrival of the enemy. In the distance, coming from the north, is the alien team of Marley. The leader is one of the two major forces of Marley, Keenan Saavedra. Because of the destruction of the Sila team as a precedent, the alien team of Marley has increased its vigilance. They chose to avoid that area and slow down their actions. Saavedra believed that their area of action was more than 20 kilometers away from where the Sila alien was killed. In such a dense fog environment, it was impossible for the murderer to arrive here in a short time. Compared with the Sila people, they were much more cautious and cherished their lives. Saavedra said to his aliens, "We are no match for Colombia and Huashu. This operation is only to gain the friendship of Colombia. So there is no need to fight so hard. Remember the principles of our actions and cooperate with Colombia's held chains. As long as we are cautious enough and do not go deep into the core area, there will be no danger." Next to him, another alien, Albart, questioned, "But how did the Sila team perish?" Saavedra frowned slightly when he heard this, then relaxed his brows and said, "Maybe they were unlucky and met the aliens from Huashu who had just landed on the island. Or..." A meaningful smile appeared on his face. "It was our own people who did it." Bar was a little surprised when he heard this. "Our own peoples?" Saavedra said lightly, "The Sila people and the Neon people have always been at odds. With the ruthless style of those Neon Wolf cubs, they may really take the opportunity to attack behind your back." When it comes to the Neon people, Saavedra's eyes became much more cautious. "Those guys are the ones I least want to have as companions. You never know what vicious actions they will take." The strangers around nodded and agreed with Saavedra's opinion. Puff! After a crisp sound, Albart exploded into a ball of blood mist. Chapter 949 Smoke. Albart's sudden death caught the entire Marleyan Inhuman team off guard. Before they could even react, two more Inhumans fell to the ground. One had half of his body blown to pieces, and another had a big hole in his chest. Enemy attack. The Marleyan Inhumans immediately dispersed. Saavedra stood still, frowning deeply. What a powerful enemy. I didn't even feel the speed of his attack. There were many top melee masters in their Inhuman team. For most Inhumans of their level, snipers have little effect. The speed of the bullet is not as fast as their reaction speed. However, this time, they didn't notice it until the bullet blew the people to pieces. This is a very scary enemy. Saavedra understood that this person was probably the powerful Inhuman who killed the Sila team. Saavedra opened his mouth and spit out a long stream of white smoke. Chase. He gave orders to the Inhumans around him. According to the law of conservation of alien abilities, aliens with strong long range means usually do not have overly strong melee abilities, unless the opponent is an alien of much higher level than them. However, Saavedra believes that Jinfeng City is the farthest from Wugu, so the aliens who appear here are just the aliens responsible for delaying the opponent, not the main force. In this way, they have a chance to kill the opponent. Saavedra made a gesture of encirclement and suppression. Immediately, two fully armed enhanced aliens with muscles burst out, like lightning, running to the direction of the bullets on the left and right. An alien took out the sniper rifle behind him and instantly completed the actions of raising the gun, opening the safety and aiming. It's too obvious. What an amateur sniper. A sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth, and then he pulled the trigger. A powerful energy wave instantly penetrated the thick fog and went in the direction of Zhang Yi's bullet. Bang! 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 3 bullets. The sharp sound of breaking through the air sounded almost at the same time. The two aliens who wanted to surround Zhang Yi and the sniper who was shooting had not realized what was happening, and only their bodies were left, turning into blood mist. Zhang Yi frowned. Why are the aliens here so weak? Aliens below the captain level are only fit to be cat food. Saavedra had originally formulated a battle plan and planned to take down the alien. However, suddenly, the tragic death of the alien next to him made his pupils shrink. Instant kill. It was easier for that sniper to kill the people around him than to kill a chicken. Could it be that I guessed wrong? The alien arranged by the other party to hunt us is a top alien. Before he finished his murmur, the familiar sound of breaking through the air came again, and then pierced his chest. Saavedra lowered his head and looked at his chest. There was a big hole there. But the next moment, a smug smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. It's a pity that this kind of attack is ineffective against me. There was no blood flowing out of the huge hole in his chest, because his body was slowly turning into white mist. Kenan Saavedra, ability Smoke, codename Hai Laogong, special type alien. His body was pierced, but he did not suffer any damage. Saavedra laughed. G. Sniper, it's your greatest misfortune to meet me. He laughed wildly, his voice getting louder and louder, and as the poisonous miasma spread out, and his body quickly turned into smoke, hiding in the thick poisonous miasma. Zhang felt all this and raised his eyebrows. Oh. Another very interesting special type ability user. Among all the aliens, if the enhancement system is the simplest and crudest existence, then the special system is the most elusive existence, because their abilities cannot be guessed or figured out at all. Manhwa has transformed, and it and Lele stared at the surroundings on the left and right. They knew that the enemy, who turned into smoke, could attack from any direction at any time. Zhang raised the sniper rifle slowly. Let's clear the field first. Several more origins were ejected, and 3 Marley aliens fell to the ground. Low-level mutants are almost no different from ordinary people in such a battlefield, and they are not even qualified to be cannon fodder. However, Saavedra is not cannon fodder. Manhwa suddenly let out a sharp cry, turned its head, and opened its mouth to exhale an atomic breath that penetrated the space. A creepy laugh echoed in the air. Saavedra's figure slowly emerged in the air, but it was transformed by smoke. Manhwa's attack was of no use to him. Special mutants can be immune to physical attacks, right? Zhang was not in a hurry and shot 3 holy silver bullets with his backhand. The bullets cut through the smoke, but blew away directly. The smile on Saavedra's face still exists. The holy silver bullet doesn't work? Zhang whispered. His attack stopped, but Saavedra's attack began. He threw his right hand forward casually, and more than a dozen smoke balls turned into balls and flew towards Zhang, Manhwa, and Lele. The dozen smoke balls left his palm and quickly turned from white smoke into real grenades. Boom! The glass on the entire floor where Zhang was instantly shattered and flew away, and the tall concrete pillars began to shatter. Zhang waved his hand casually, and the smoke dissipated. All the power of the explosion was swallowed up by him. Then he gently moved his right hand forward and returned all the power to Saavedra. However, he only blew up the smoke. Soon Saavedra's laughter rang around again. Give. It's useless, you can't kill me. His head emerged from the poisonous miasma again, and his huge hooked nose gave people a very sinister feeling. His eyes were equally sinister. Then let me kill you slowly. Saavedra's ability is not particularly strong. But in Mist Island, this poisonous miasma that covers the sky is the perfect environment for him to perform. Even if he encounters a powerful captain-level alien, he can still take the initiative on the battlefield. Boom. 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 In the poisonous miasma, groups of smoke turned into human shapes. Soon, 100-man army of smoke soldiers surrounded Zhang, Manhwa, and Lele. They held weapons made of smoke in their hands, including guns, rocket launchers, and grenades. Then they aimed at Zhang and began to bombard them. It was originally mist made of smoke, but as long as they got close to Zhang, they would immediately become real weapons. Zhang also immediately realized that one of the opponent's abilities was to materialize the mist into a truly lethal weapon. Although it looks very bluffing, the power is nothing special. Zhang directly unfolded the two-world knot, and the power of all weapons was swallowed up. In principle, it's still your own ability, but the way of attack has changed. It's fancy and meaningless, Zhang said with a sneer. Chapter 950 Swallowing Everything. Saavedra saw that his offensive means were ineffective, and he could not help but restrain his arrogant smile. Ineffective attack, right? Then how about you try this trick? He opened his mouth and took a deep breath. All the poisonous miasma around him began to rush towards him frantically, and finally, he swallowed them fiercely. The poisonous miasma in the surrounding area was emptied, and Saavedra's body also expanded rapidly, turning into a giant more than 10 meters tall. He condensed a huge rocket launcher in his right hand, and a large cannonball more than 3 meters long in his left hand. Then he aimed at Zhang Yi's feet and fired fiercely. Zhang Yi saw that his means of attack was actually to transform his supernatural power into a weapon. The size of the volume represents the strength of the attack. Therefore, there is no need to take it hard. Zhang Yi, who was accelerated by 30 times, reacted very quickly and chose to use Space Shuttle to avoid this attack. Hua and Leilei's reaction speed was not slower than Zhang Yi, and they jumped far away in advance. The cannonball landed in the building, and the next moment it exploded. The whole building was blown to pieces, rubble flew everywhere, and a huge mushroom cloud slowly rose above the ruins. At this time, Zhang Yi had come behind Saavedra. The holy judge in his right hand swept across, and a huge void blade aimed at his head and slashed it fiercely. But when this huge void blade swept across Saavedra's body, he changed from a solid body to a smoke form, causing almost no damage. Didn't I say it? This level of attack has no effect on me. Saavedra sneered and turned around. The huge barrel in his hand turned into a submachine gun, and the bullets were like a rain of light, shooting at Zhang Yi like crazy. Every bullet will become a superpower bullet after approaching Zhang Yi, with powerful lethality. Dimensional Gate. Zhang Yi opened the dimensional gate casually and swallowed these attacks completely. Then he opened a second dimensional gate on the side of Saavedra with his backhand, rebounding the attack to him. But no matter what Zhang Yi did, he couldn't wipe out Saavedra in the form of smoke. Just as Saavedra said, his ability is unique in this poisonous miasma, and it is almost impossible to kill him. Saavedra looked at Zhang Yi coldly. You are very strong. It can be seen that you should be a first-class strong man in Huashu country, right? But why do you appear here instead of competing for the source of gods? Zhang Yi showed a sneer at the corner of his mouth. Everyone here carries a communication device, but Zhang Yi will not take the initiative to open it unless it is necessary. The other party may also pass the intelligence collected here to the command center of the Columbia Navy. Therefore, he will not answer any questions from Saavedra. You go ask Satan. 2 silver grenades appeared in Zhang Yi's left hand and were thrown at Saavedra. Saavedra sneered. Didn't I say it? Physical attack is... Before the 3 words, useless, were spoken, an extremely dazzling silver light burst out in front of him. Saavedra's body was blown to pieces, and his body began to shrink. Is this thing a weapon that can be effective against aliens? Saavedra immediately realized the nature of this weapon. The holy silver bullet was not useless to him, but he was too big in the form of smoke, and the loss of part of his body would not cause much impact. However, the grenade used by Zhang Yi was a more expensive and more effective weapon than the holy silver bullet, the holy silver grenade. The cost of a holy silver grenade is roughly equal to that of 100 holy silver bullets, but it is more suitable for dealing with this kind of opponent that is ineffective against single-target damage than the holy silver bullet. Saavedra's face was gloomy. It hurts so much. He suddenly narrowed his eyes and laughed. Gee. It's like being bitten by a mosquito. He turned around and sank directly into the huge poisonous miasma behind him. The laughter once again surrounded him from all directions. Zhang Yi's eyes swept coldly across the surrounding space. Saavedra was hiding in the poisonous miasma, and there was no way to determine his position at all. Moreover, there was no way to attack him effectively. The trouble caused to me by the ability of more than 8,000 points of supernatural index here is more than that of the supernatural person with 9,000 points of supernatural index. Zhang Yi couldn't help but sigh. This is why, even with a supernatural index of 9,800 points, he has to hunt cautiously. Hua and Leilei jumped to the side of Zhang Yi, grinning and staring at the surroundings with a fierce look. They can detect that Saavedra is around. However, he is not in one place, but everywhere. In this way, even they don't know how to kill him effectively. What a damn bug. Hua cursed viciously. Saavedra was hidden in the poisonous miasma, and he was also worried. The opponent's strength is obviously stronger than his. Although the opponent cannot cause fatal damage to him, he can't hurt the opponent either. He knew that he had caught a big fish. In the mist, he condensed the smoke and conjured a communicator, then contacted the Columbia Navy Command Center. I found a powerful Huashu alien here. I can lock their location. Please send someone to surround and kill them quickly. Navy Command Center. Graham Horn frowned immediately after receiving the news. He held his chin with one hand, puzzled. Why did the aliens from Huashu move towards the edge of the poisonous miasma? And they also attacked the alien troops of Sila and Marley? Doing so is meaningless for obtaining the source of God. At this time, a naval officer next to him, Maka Krudi, said, "Maybe he is going on a hunt." Hunting? Everyone around looked at him. At this time, Cartier's was not on the warship. He was bored and didn't know where to go, so he went to find a female officer for fun. Therefore, the atmosphere in the command center became much more relaxed. Krudi looked at the three-dimensional map and calmly pointed to the area where Saavedra was. Within one day, the enemy attacked our Joint Forces alien team twice in a row. This is obviously targeted, not accidental. So, I think the enemy's purpose may be to hunt down the aliens in our joint force. Rather than looking for the holy essence, the biggest possibility is that they have formed a division of labor. Some people harassed us, and the other part was responsible for looking for the holy essence. After hearing this, Horn thought calmly. If the enemy really has such a purpose, then he is stupid enough. Even if he wants to interfere with us, it is meaningless to just snipe some weak people in such a remote direction. Chapter 951. Destroy 2 teams in one day. Horn didn't take Zhang Yi's hunting action seriously. In his opinion, Zhang Yi was just a coward who only dared to hunt the weak. And he posed no threat to their core power, the Hell Chain. So, he didn't respond to Saavedra's request for help. Because of the powerful combat power of the Navy, there was no time to go to great lengths for him. The alien troops from other countries were only there as auxiliary. Saavedra didn't get a response from the Columbia Navy. But Zhang Yi's response came. He whispered a few words to Hua and Lele, and then the cat and the dog quickly ran madly in both directions. Saavedra looked at everything in front of him, still confused in his heart. What are they going to do? It's useless. Physical attacks can't hurt me at all. Here, I'm naturally invincible. Even if I can't kill you, I can use the poisonous miasma to escape. But Hua and Lele ran farther and farther, and there seemed to be no sign of stopping the attack. Saavedra didn't know what Zhang Yi was going to do. But he didn't stop attacking. The gray poisonous miasma rolled around, and huge poisonous insects and beasts appeared one after another, and then attacked Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi ignored it. He glanced around coldly, knowing that Saavedra was hiding in this poisonous miasma. Then he stepped on the ground with both feet, and the whole person instantly soared into the sky. Saavedra looked up at the sky, wondering what Zhang Yi was going to do. "Are you trying to escape?" He suddenly sneered. "Haha, it's useless. In this place, as long as I lock your position, you can't escape anywhere. I will always be entangled with you. You must be a high-level alien. As long as I can kill you, I will get a huge reward from the Columbia Navy." He didn't have any extravagant hopes for the source of God, knowing that it was not something he could get involved in. From the beginning, he was determined to only gain limited benefits. Zhang Yi flew thousands of meters high and flew to the edge of the poisonous miasma. Then he looked down at everything under his feet. A dark light condensed in the palm of his right hand, and the unstable void dark matter twisted and jumped like lightning, as if it was a beast that was about to break free from the cage, but was restrained by Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi's hands were facing each other in midair, and the unstable dark matter became more and more crazy. Condensed void, dark world. Saavedra was still curious whether Zhang Yi was planning to escape or had other intentions. But suddenly, a very dark light appeared in his eyes. The extremely dark light swallowed up all the light around it, and it was a material existence that was darker than darkness. The next moment, he saw a huge black sun appear in the sky. It seemed like a round dark space that seemed to be able to swallow everything. The threat of death instantly enveloped him. Saavedra's pupils shrank, but he had no chance to escape. Because when he saw the huge black sun, it had instantly reached the ground. Silently, a huge black dark world sphere emerged from the ground. The radius of several kilometers directly enveloped everything around it. On Qingdao, in the southeast area of Jinfeng City, a huge black sphere emerged from the vast poisonous miasma. Almost at the same time, people in several places on Qingdao noticed this. They turned their heads to look at this area at the same time, and there was a trace of fear and fighting spirit in their eyes. Qinglong from the East China Sea region narrowed his eyes and looked at this direction. Is this direction Jinfeng City? Such a strong energy fluctuation. The destructive power is at least 9,600 points. Who will appear there? In another place, Deng Shintong, wearing a luxurious silver combat uniform, led his team of gods in a ruin. Feeling the familiar breath, he raised his head, and a silver light flashed in his eyes. Passing through the dense poisonous miasma, he caught a ray of the blooming dark sun. Zhang Yi, he has become stronger again, Deng Shintong muttered to himself. He couldn't help but clench his fists. I thought I had become much stronger after 5 months of arduous training. Unexpectedly, Zhang Yi did not fall behind at sea. I have to work harder too. He raised a competitive smile and threw his silver cloak. Let's go. We must get the source of God. In the city of Makipo near the Fog Valley, a cowboy wearing a felt hat and 2 revolvers on his waist raised the brim of his hat and looked thoughtfully in the direction of Jinfeng City. I seem to have sensed an interesting power. He is the vice captain of Chains of Hell, Yassine Canero, the strongest person under Cartier's. He is known as the first genius of the ocean fleet. Unlike Cartier's, he is a natural awakener. And in the minds of many people, once he breaks through the realm of Ypsilon, he will definitely have more powerful strength than Cartier's. He whistled leisurely and walked forward along the marks left by the reconnaissance troops. Zhang Yi slowly landed on the ground. The area of several kilometers around him had been cleaned up, leaving only a smooth and huge circular pit on the ground. Huahua and Lele ran to Zhang Yi. Lele asked curiously, "Boss, is that person done?" "He has been swallowed by the dark world," Zhang Yi said lightly. "Since it is impossible to wipe him out with a single attack, then it is better to swallow up the entire area. His void power can swallow everything." Saavedra's self-proclaimed invincible defense ability seems so ridiculous in front of a higher-level ability. But he is still quite powerful. Zhang Yi glanced at his palm. A mere alien with a power of over 8,000 points was able to force me to use the power of the void. His death was not in vain. Zhang Yi took out the alien food from the alien space to replenish his strength. On the other hand, he turned on the communication device and sent a message to the command center to report the results of the battle. "I am Chaos. I have just wiped out a Marley alien force in the direction of Jinfeng City. This time, Li Tianyang and others could no longer sit still. The action had just started for less than a day, and everyone else was adapting to the environment of Kirishima and looking for a way forward. And Zhang Yi had actually completed 2 consecutive kills. Xuanwu also said on the side, "Once can be said to be luck, twice is not. That guy, what does he want to do?" Suddenly, Xuanwu's eyes lit up. "I seem to understand his plan." Chapter 952 Hemitbun. At the Combat Command Center, everyone was still shocked by Zhang Yi's record. Xuanwu's words immediately attracted everyone's attention. Li Tianyang looked at Xuanwu and asked, "Xuanwu, do you have any ideas?" Xuanwu glanced at Situ Xian, who just smiled and said nothing. Xuanwu held his head with both hands, sat lazily on the chair, and said, "When I first met Han Dun, I knew he was very strong. Moreover, he definitely has the potential to be at the level of Ypsilon."
As
Soon as these words came out, everyone in the room was shocked.
What?
Ypsilon. Everyone was extremely stunned. Even Situ Xian narrowed his eyes, and a strange light flashed through his eyes. Li Tianyang looked at Situ Xian in disbelief, then looked at Xuanwu and said, "It's impossible. If there really is such a person in the Jiangnan region, I think they will definitely train him at all costs. How could he still be at the level of deltas? In their common sense, this is something unimaginable." For example, Xuanwu, after discovering his great potential, the commander-in-chief of the war zone, Li Guangxiao, personally signed an order to gather the resources of the entire region to train him. Situ Xian, with his hands behind his back, frowned slightly at this time. An officer from the East China Sea region said leisurely, "I heard that Chaos is not an alien from Blizzard City, but from the outside world. And his relationship with Blizzard City does not seem to be a subordinate relationship, but a cooperative relationship." After saying this, Li Tianyang immediately understood. "Oh, that's it. Haha, this is indeed the style of your Jiangnan region." Li Tianyang raised the brim of his hat with a little contempt in his eyes. As a soldier, although he has a tough style and does whatever it takes to achieve his goals. But that's because he is loyal to his post. But this practice of suppressing geniuses for personal purposes also makes him feel disgusted. Situ Xian smiled and did not answer. Everything was Zhu Zheng's plan. What can he do? From the beginning to the end, the resources provided by the Jiangnan region to Zhang Yi were nothing more than some weapons, food or medicines he exchanged with points. Because Zhu Zheng was also worried that Zhang Yi would become too powerful to be controlled. Then he would become the second Gao Chongkong. Xuanwu held his head and said lightly, "So, Chaos chose this place as a hunting ground. Aliens above the captain level are very rare species, and each captain-level alien requires a lot of resources from the region. It is very difficult to see one on weekdays, let alone hunt him, and then devour the origin to upgrade. But here, aliens above the captain level are everywhere." Xuanwu is very smart, and he quickly saw through Zhang Yi's purpose. A cold light flashed in Li Tianyang's eyes. He suddenly thought that if Zhang Yi really had the potential of Ypsilon, then if he continued to develop on Qingdao, he might really cross that limit. Once that happens, if Ypsilon is not on Qingdao, wouldn't he definitely become the final winner? Li Tianyang's expression became more and more gloomy. This situation was not what he wanted to see. Situ Xian's face was a little deep. He touched his chin without saying a word. He didn't know what he was thinking in his heart. Perhaps he also guessed Li Tianyang's idea. This is very dangerous. The Jiangnan region now needs Zhang Yi's strength. And in the Columbia Navy Command Center, with the death of Sadra in battle and the video data he sent to the command center before his death, it immediately attracted the attention of General Horn. This is a very powerful alien, definitely the best in the field of aliens in Huashu country. In one day, 2 teams were destroyed. This person is extremely dangerous. He didn't take Zhang Yi seriously. He just wanted to fight a little in the outer area of the poisonous miasma. Let the alien troops of the Allies to contain him for a while, and the core task is to let the Hell Chains fight for the source of God. However, Saavedra didn't even last 5 minutes before he was killed by the mysterious alien. This finally put pressure on Horn. We now know that there is a powerful alien from Huashu country who has been hunting the alien teams of our joint forces. And he is very strange. He can actually find the location of 2 alien teams in the thick poisonous miasma. This is the most terrifying. This is a hidden danger and must be eliminated. Otherwise, I don't know how many more people will die in his hands. They are not afraid of Zhang Yi's strong strength. But a powerful enemy also has the ability to hunt and can hunt at any time in the poisonous miasma. This has to be prevented. Lieutenant Colonel Cordy suggested, for the sake of safety, it is not appropriate to adopt the tactic of adding fuel. I think it is better to let the people of Hell Chain hunt him directly. Hell Chain, the strongest alien force of the Columbia Navy. Everyone who can join it is the top alien powerhouse. General Horn looked at the 3-dimensional map, Who is the member of Hell Chain who is closest to there and has the ability to deal with this kind of alien? After a while, he got the answer he wanted. It's Hemet Boone. Horn nodded. It's perfect to let him go on this hunt. In Yuming City, east of Jinfeng City, a team of Colombian aliens was heading towards the depths of the poisonous miasma. Each alien was wearing a black combat uniform and holding the most advanced laser weapon in his hand. This weapon that uses high-energy lasers to shoot and kill enemies is the latest weapon technology of Colombia. In the era of great mutation, ordinary weapons are already difficult to play a role. But this high-energy laser weapon still has the ability to kill aliens. In the center of the team, a man wearing a cloak suddenly stopped. As soon as he stopped, the others immediately stood in place, keeping alert and pointing their guns in all directions around them. The man's long blonde hair stretched out from under the cloak. His face could not be seen clearly, and only his firm chin could be seen. He is a member of 8 Chains of Hell, Hemet Boone. You have a new mission. Don't rush to the Fog Valley for now. There is a hunter from the Huashu country not far from you. Go and get rid of him. Hemet Boone heard this and said lightly, "Give me his information." The information is unknown. I only know that he is a sniper, and he seems to have very strong strength.
Boone, sniper?
Interesting, I understand. He ended the call with a command center. Then he gave instructions to the team members around him. You continue to open up the road here. Be careful to hide yourself and don't be discovered by others. He looked at a tall and heroic man beside him. This was his adjutant Rem Magrian. Magrian, come with me to hunt someone? Dear viewers, this video ends here, but not the story. If you want to know if Zhang gets the source of God or not, please subscribe. We'll post till that episode.
Thanks.